everyone, my name is Ciera. I'm an Iris parent. Iris was introduced into my life in March of 2015 when my firstborn Caden was stillborn. Iris was contacted almost immediately, and Diana came and offered Iris services. So we received the hand and feet molds. We got a clip of Caden's hair. We got the clothes that fit him, being that he was a 30-weeker, so a little bit smaller. The blankets and all of the memorial items. And she stressed the importance of the hands-on, one-on-one time spent with me and Caden's father and Caden, just us three as a family. We got that one-on-one time. I was able to hold him, to cuddle him, sing to him, read to him, all of those important things that you get to, when you have a child, you get to spend years doing. But when you have a child who had died, you get that short amount of time that you get to do it. So my family and friends all got to meet him and spend that quality time with him as well. Iris has always, since day one of knowing what Iris was, has offered that unconditional support, understanding, and love. Being that Diana has gone through it herself, she knew exactly how I would feel, and she knows, kind of how to help. And that's so important when you do lose a child or go through something very hard, is having that person who has also gone through it and understands it. So that was in 2015. Throughout the years, we have done numerous remembrance activities that Iris provides. They have the turkey trot, Mother's Day brunch. On October 15th, that's Pregnancy and Infant Loss Remembrance Day, going out to the statue that is outside of Iris. The statue is actually one that my committee and I, along with Diana and Iris, raised funds for. Me and Diana put our heads together. I wanted to do something huge to give back to Iris and the infant loss community. And then we came up with the idea of the I Knew You in the Womb statue that currently sits outside of the Iris house. So we do all of those remembrance activities. There's so many more. And then we've just stayed really close with Iris and Diana throughout the years. And then in 2019, I got pregnant again with Kyle, my fiance, and we were having a perfect pregnancy. In May of 2019, I was headed to a doctor's appointment in a nearby city. I was struck head on while driving, and I was in a very serious accident. I ended up being life-flighted to the hospital, and I don't remember a whole lot of details. But I do remember the doctor saying, "I'm sorry, there's no heartbeat." And I remember distinctly my next thought being, "Oh God, not again." So we weren't going through the exact same situation, but we were going through the fact that we were losing another child again. So a few days later, I gave birth to our second son, Kennedy. And I now live in Wisconsin. I live in the middle of Wisconsin. As most of you know, Iris is based out of Faribault, Minnesota. So I was quite a ways away from where they offer their services. My family lives in Owatonna, which is just south of Faribault. So on their way over to be with me, my sisters stopped at Iris and were given all of the memorial items, the clothes to fit Kennedy, blankets, just everything else. They were given that and brought them to me over here in Wisconsin. When I gave birth, Diana was on the phone on FaceTime the entire time. I was bedridden. I could not get up and walk around. So most of the things that were done were Kyle and my parents. So Diana stayed on FaceTime and she walked them through everything, exactly what to do, to not be scared to hold Kennedy and get him bathed and put lotion on him. She walked Kyle and my parents and my sisters all through that on FaceTime. That is I am way out of their services over here in Wisconsin. That's something that she didn't have to do, but she did because she is so passionate about what she does. She's so passionate about Iris. And that's just so touching to me. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional about it. But if that doesn't speak volumes about the type of person that Diana is and the type of foundation that Iris is, it's just speechless. So I have and always will stand right next side to Iris, and I will continue being an advocate for my sons, for Iris, and for all the other babies that are lost. I recommend, even if you aren't directly impacted by child loss, if you do see something, if you see one of Iris's posts, if you happen to see this and you've never lost a child, share it, look into it, look at the links, look at Iris, simply share, because you don't know who on your social media that could impact. You don't know exactly who has gone through this type of situation, and simply sharing could help pull someone out of a dark spot that they're currently in, because the journey after losing a child, there's lots of dark spots and there's a lot of brightness too, but there is those dark spots, and seeing those posts sometimes can just lift you out. A lot of people, this has always been such a taboo subject for many, many years. When Diana had Derek over 30 years ago, it was a taboo subject. You didn't get to spend time with your babies in the hospital. You didn't talk about it. My great grandma lost her son shortly after birth, and I didn't know about that until after I lost Caden. I had no idea. We hear these stories, and that's when we start to come out about it. That's when we start to share our stories. So if you aren't directly impacted, just share, because you don't know who might be facing that. And if you are impacted, if you have lost a child, again, if you're not sharing your story yet, that's fine, because we all do it in our own time. For me, I had to start sharing right away. That's just the person I am, though. I have to speak out about it. But that's okay if you aren't. But I strongly recommend you look into this. You look into iRise for Iris. You look into Iris in general and all the remembrance activities that they hold, because speaking from experience, it helps. Just simply knowing that there is a group of parents just in southern Minnesota alone that understand this is just incredible. So I recommend you, again, look into this stuff. It's, it helps Iris. It helps Iris be able to provide services for parents like me, whether you've lost one child, two, or God forbid more. Iris is there. They're there to help. So events like this, go to Iris to be able to make that everlasting impact on people's lives, like my own, like my fiance's, like our families. So that's all I have.